Hello and welcome to Daily Reflection with Aneel Aranha. As you can see, things are a little different. I am setting up a new base in Mumbai and still have to get my equipment. So for a few days, I'm going to use my phone to shoot these reflections. You might hear the sound of traffic in the background too, but I hope that won't distract you too much. Today is the 8th of July and we're going to reflect on Mark chapter 6 verses 1 to 6. Listen. Jesus left that place and came to his hometown, and his disciples followed him. On the Sabbath, he began to teach in the synagogue, and many who heard him were astounded. They said, "Where did this man get all this? What is this wisdom that has been given to him? What deeds of power are being done by his hands? Is not this the carpenter, the son of Mary and brother of James and Joseph and Judas and Simon, and are not his sisters here with us?" And they took offense at him. Then Jesus said to them, "Prophets are not without honor except in their hometown and among their own kin and in their own house." And he could do no deed of power there except that he laid his hands on a few sick people and cured them. And he was amazed at their unbelief. The gospel of the Lord. It has now become a cliche to say that a prophet is not recognized in his own hometown among his own people. A prophet is, of course, a person regarded as an inspired teacher or proclaimer of the will of God. In the secular world, if hometown boy makes it good, his townspeople are very proud of him. Look at any cricketer or singer or movie star. But in the spiritual world, we don't like those among us becoming people of significance. Isn't that fascinating? Let me try to explain why this is in the context of Jesus. Jesus was a carpenter's son. We are briefly introduced to him when he's 12 years old, engaged in some very profound conversation with teachers in the temple. However, there is no further mention of him in Scripture until he dramatically reappears onto the scene when he's 30 years old. What does he do in the intervening years? Well, he follows in his earthly father's footsteps, taking up the occupation of a carpenter too, living a very ordinary life. Whenever he's spoken about, he's usually referred to either as the carpenter or the carpenter's son. Then Jesus starts teaching some very strange doctrines and performing some very stunning miracles. And while pretty much everybody is impressed, his own community of Nazareth rejects him. Now, there are three factors at play here. One is that Jesus is the son of the guy who makes their tables and chairs, and he does pretty much the same. What can he possibly have to say that is of any spiritual significance? Another is that he has come out of nowhere with no theological background whatsoever. And a third is that for some reason, other people are paying attention to him and giving him a lot of importance, which makes everybody very jealous. Now, they are very upset, and Jesus is upset too, and he refuses to do any miracles in their midst. Now it isn't only Mark who records this incident. Matthew and Luke do so as well. In fact, in Luke's account, things get really ugly. The people of the hometown try to kill Jesus in anger over his preaching. And there is a reason why all three gospel writers make a mention of this. It is to tell us that what happened to Jesus will happen to anyone who follows in his footsteps, so not to be surprised by what happens to us. Jesus too cautions us about the persecution that awaits us. Now see what happened to Paul. Exactly what happened to Jesus. Both a Pharisee and a Roman citizen, Paul is rejected by both communities. But just as Jesus did his ministry outside of Nazareth, Paul too went to the Gentiles outside of Jerusalem and preached to them. So if you find yourself in a similar situation, don't let it bother you. Go elsewhere. History will vindicate you as it did Jesus and Paul and every other follower of Christ, and reveal your enemies for what they are. People with closed minds and hard hearts. And when it's all been said and done, God will have the final say. May he bless you.